Hey folks, it's Marvin Cash, the host of The Articulate Fly. We're back with another Steelhead Alley Outfitters fishing report with Patrick Robinson. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm doing great, man. Good to be back with you this evening.
Absolutely, and I heard you took the broom and swept out the rest of the winter weather this past weekend.
Yeah, I think they held on to the last massive blast until I decided to be on the water, and I took care of all of it 2 days, man. Said throw it all at me, and they did. So we warmed up since then, and it's been really nice. I think they say that we're one of the cloudiest places in the country in the wintertime. And legitimately, like they built munitions plants up here during World War II because they said that the bomber, if we were to ever be bombed, they couldn't get bombs through the cloud cover. So there's some legitimacy to that statement. And but in the last few days, we have seen glorious sunshine. In fact, the top of my dome right now is sunburnt from yesterday. So we're happy to see the sun again, and things are warming, as are the waters, and that's really got the fish turned on.
Yeah. So what are you seeing on the water?
A lot of fish. We've really had a dry spring. We've actually needed some rain, and we haven't been getting it. It's a two-edged sword. One of our favorite streams to fish in the spring is the Grand River, but it's the largest watershed that we have here in the area. The largest stream we have here in the area that we fish. And so there are some springs where if you get on that river for, 2 or 3 days out of the spring, you can consider yourself fortunate. And it has been the only stream, fishing up until, this weekend when we actually we had some rain roll in. I guess it was Thursday. And then, Friday, the river actually started to push up and our rivers finally got a bump of water that we were desperately needing. But prior to that, there were fish literally everywhere. I was out last Wednesday just doing some scouting, preparing for the next 2 days, and literally every hole that I went by, anglers were pulling fish out of. Every hole that I stopped in, I was hitting fish in. So there's just a ton of fish in the systems right now. And we're still early enough in the season, of course, with every push of water, we're still having some fish coming in. And so, yeah, it's been a great scene out there. We've had a great spring so far with very few cancellations and a lot of fish coming in.
Got it. And so as things are warming up and you're getting water and the fish are becoming more active, how does that translate into kind of your approach to catch one of these great fish?
Well, we're the spring is more so the time of year where you're actually seeing fish spawning. So that's kind of, again, to use the term, a two-edged sword. When people can see fish, sometimes the ethics go out the window and people, are hammering fish that are on gravel and shallow areas. So what we tell people, when we're with clients, and obviously they're seeing all these people fishing in shallow water where they can see fish, the question always comes up, well, why aren't we fishing up there? And we always tell them, some of the best places to fish it's not up on the gravel. We give them the ethical statement of why we don't want to do that. And they're like, well, isn't this a man-made fishery? We're like, yes, it is. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to leave here from this man-made fishery and go out to a fishery where it's wild fish and people not understanding the difference. And then all of a sudden you're doing something that could be detrimental to a wild fishery. And so we always tell people, like, find those deep holes and slots below spawning habitat, because that's where your drop back hens, the ones that have spawned out and dropped back, that's why we call them drop back hens. They drop back off the gravel and they're headed back to the big water, whether it be an ocean or a lake. In our situation, one of the Great Lakes, they drop back into those holes below gravel to rest, feed, regain the energy as they head back to the lake. But then also you'll have the big pre-spawn hens that are coming up to the spawning gravel that will stage in those holes. And so sometimes the best fish that you can get in the river are going to be located in those holes. And so those are the ones that we try and focus on, as opposed to, going up and bothering the fish that are actually in the process of spawning.
Got it. And want to give a shout out to our friends at Norvice who have generously been sponsoring the fishing reports with you guys. And, we were talking before we started recording, Patrick, I guess we're in the home stretch of March Madness. So folks need to keep going over to the Facebook page and check out what's going on with Norvice over there so they can vote for their favorite pattern.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're down to the final 4 remaining tires, and so it's getting serious quick. And so yeah, get out there and to the Norvice Facebook page when they post those entries. I think it's a 24-hour voting period, and your vote only counts when you click on the thumbs up or the heart emoji on the actual picture of the tire. So do us all a favor and pound one of those buttons for the best tide fly. Okay, not the most popular person, the best tide fly, because we want these guys to earn their keep. And there's been some good entries, no doubt. And it's been really cool to see the cross section of tires too. There's been some people who just got into the sport. We've had some kids that were in the competition, and it was really cool to see some of those kids, and what they were turning out. But yeah, we're down to the final 4, so get out there and help them wrap this thing up, and hopefully they'll end up with a great winner at the end.
Yeah, there you go. And we've got a question for you too, Patrick.
Hit me.
Yeah, I'll hit you. So this is from Dow0226. That's his Instagram handle. Don't really know who that is, but he wants to know who caught more fish, Tim or Tyler?
Tim definitely caught more fish. Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yes, with all the wisdom of advanced age.
Yeah. Well, they actually both did fairly well. In fact, truth be told, I guided them on day 1, and I know who guided them on day 2. If we are looking at those 2 guided days, truth be told, it was a dead heat.
Well, there you go.
Up. So they both had a good day, despite the cold conditions. They were really, really fortunate. Day 1, I didn't know exactly what we were going to end up with, and they ended up with a decent number of fish to hand in very tough conditions. So hats off to them for putting in a tough day and for tolerating me.
Yeah, well, there you go. And folks, next time we're going to draw for the prize, which is, I think it's $100 Norvice gift certificate, and I think it's $100 gift certificate from you guys, right, Patrick?
It is. Yep.
And because I'm super talented, we'll actually draw on the episode. So if you have a question for Patrick, you have one last chance to get it in. You can email it to us. You can send it to us on our Facebook, our Instagram page, and you might be able to have your question selected. I'd send you some articulate fly swag, and then you get entered into the drawing, and we would draw in the next episode.
Sounds like a win-win situation. Get them questions in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Patrick, I know you guys have been super busy getting booked up for the guide season, but why don't you let folks know your availability and how to reach out and book a day with you?
Yeah, they can reach us anytime on the web by going to www.steelheadoutfitters.com. They can email me at team, that's T as in Tom, E as in Edward, AM, at steelheadoutfitters.com. They can also reach us by phone at 888-453-5899. We do have just a couple of very small spots here and there remaining in March. Most of those have been last minute cancellations, and then into early April we're booked pretty solid. So we're booking out the remaining openings in mid to late April at this point. And so if you're in for some steelhead, we're good to go for steelhead through the end of April, and then we switch over to warm water pursuits, smallmouth, and pike and that kind of thing following the steelhead season. So feel free to give us a shout on any of those different points of contact. We'd be happy to get you out on the water.
Well, there you go, folks. And you need to take advantage of this warming weather on Steelhead Alley and get out there and catch a few. Tight lines, everybody. Tight lines, Patrick.
Thanks, Marvin.